this special meeting of the Smith County Emergency Services District Number 2 to order at 4 p.m. and certify there is a quorum present. The only one not present is Commissioner McKeithen, and that all due notices have been posted in accordance. And at this time, I'll ask Commissioner Biggers to lead us in a prayer and pledge of allegiance to the United States and Texas flags.
Dear Father, we're so grateful that you allowed us once again together to make decisions that we believe and hope will benefit this community and in line with what you would desire us to do. Father, we continue to pray for our first responders. Father, we pray for this city, this state, and this country, that the leadership of this country and state and city will be in line with what you desire for your people. It's in Jesus' name we pray.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible. All right. Item number 3, recognition of guests and special presentations. As far as I know, there are none. Item 4, public comment. Anybody sign up for public comment?
No, there are no public comments.
Okay, no public comments, and we'll move on to item number 5. Discuss, consider, and take any necessary action on approval of payments to Texas Mutual for workman's comp insurance. And I guess
I'll take that item.
Bill will take that item, okay.
Commissioners, I have provided y'all with a copy of the invoice / quote for the Texas Mutual Insurance. This is for the ESD paid staff. We did bring y'all the volunteers at the last meeting. Sorry I was not able to provide this information to you guys at the last meeting. We just got this quote about a week after the last meeting. So, but we need to bind this insurance by October the 25th. So that's why we're bringing this item to the meeting. What we are proposing to do after some conversation with Sherry and I, we are proposing to do the in-network option. At this point in time, I'm not sure whether y'all would like to do the annual payment or the monthly payments. As far as a cash flow perspective, I would recommend the monthly payments. It's not much difference. It's about $150 difference. Yes, sir. So the prior insurance that we had, we did that on a monthly basis. So I think that would probably be a better approach, but I'll let y'all make that final decision.
This is the workman's comp for the paid staff, right?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Or is that just for, or is it everybody?
Just paid staff.
Just paid staff, yes, sir.
Okay. I'll make the motion that we pay the in-network balance on a monthly basis, value of $19,076.67 per month.
Okay, have a motion by Commissioner Domney and a second by Commissioner Biggers to pay the Texas Mutual Workers' Compensation Insurance on a monthly payment of $19,076.67. Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
All right. Item 6, discuss, consider, and take any necessary action on IT projects, services, and purchases. Discuss and consider, okay? Larry, this is yours, so take off with it.
It is. So under item 6.1, we have authorizing me to go ahead and execute 2 service agreements with Suddenlink Communications This is for point-to-point service between two of our facilities and the server room, in which this was the cheaper option over 10 years, cheaper than building a tower. So it's cheaper than building a point-to-point tower and cheaper than continuing cable services and firewalls. So this will provide fiber internet service to Dixie Station 1 and Bullard Station 2. And this was a budgeted contractual increase.
You did say it was a budgeted, and it does meet the budget forecast?
That is correct.
Make a motion.
Okay. Second. Have a motion by Commissioner Biggers, second by Commissioner Wilson to approve this project as budgeted. Any other discussion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right. That was 6.1, right?
Yes, sir.
6.2, purchasing services, equipment, supplies for the point-to-point phase 5 under the budget projections 22 IT PTP-5 in the amount not to exceed $137,055.
Okay, so this one is the large tower project that's going in at the fleet maintenance facility. It will end up serving Dixie Station 2, which is a staffed location, as well as Red Springs Station 1, the fleet maintenance facility, and Red Springs Station 2, and Winona 1, as well as linking our primary and secondary server room locations together. This is a budgeted item, and I've provided 3 quotes where those quotes are relevant, as well as the project plan and the RFQ that was submitted to the vendors for the quotes. As far as the quotes go, we did have some trouble getting bids on some of the quotes or some of the project scope. In specific, line 1307 there for the PO, that was Dixie Station 2's location. Quote number 2 actually excludes the alignment of the and the mounting of the microwave antennas. And quote number 3 refused to use the tower we're purchasing from Regal Machine and wanted to provide their own tower. So that one actually has the cost of the tower included, which is substantially marked up. So option number 1, quote 1 from Tower Specialists Inc. is the low bid on that. And we've had history with that vendor in the past, and they do good work. And then 1305, vendor 2 was unable to produce a bid on it. Another company I contacted for a bid wanted to charge us a fee to come out and bid on it. But you can see there's quite a substantial difference between vendor 1 and vendor 3 there on that 1305 line. But all of this is within budget and goes towards the project plan.
So you do have a single vendor that will provide you the entire scope as requested. Combination of the other 2 vendors, pricing exceeds that you receive with the single vendor.
That's
So
correct.
it is.
The single vendor is actually the low bid on all the
Oh,
projects.
okay.
And we have history with that vendor. I actually think that's why the vendor's the low bid, is they understand what they're getting into. And for the other 2 vendors, it's kind of up in the air on what they may be getting into, so they're priced a little higher. And vendor 2 didn't have the capability of doing the large towers. After 200 foot, they're out.
Okay.
So they could not quote that third. I believe that's all I really have on that. So on this one, the main reason for trying to bring this up in a special called meeting is there's a price increase coming because of the price increase of steel. And the vendors are telling me they can't hold these quotes for much longer.
What's the savings on, Larry?
So I know for a fact one vendor's going up by 10 and one vendor's going up by 25%. So quite a bit.
I'll make the motion that we move forward with the project 22-IT-point-to-point-P5 as budgeted, not to exceed $137,055.
And I will point out one more thing if I can. If you notice, we've broken this up. Even some vendors have multiple POs. That's broken up by cost center, which I think was a request from you. So I just want to make sure that y'all see that we are spending multiple POs with a single vendor, but that breaks it out by location so that we have better tracking financially
Okay.
where those funds are being allocated.
Thank you.
Have a motion, do I hear a second? Have a second by Commissioner Domney. Motion by Commissioner Domney, a second by Commissioner Biggers. Any other discussion? All right, hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, 6.3. Discuss and consider and take necessary action on budget project 22 IT P2P-P6 purchasing services supplies for point-to-point phase 600 budget project in the amount not to exceed $23,562.50.
Okay, so this is very similar to Phase 5. Phase 6 is for the Chapel Hill station directly, and similar thing here. I've included all three quotes from all three vendors on both the tower as well as the services to erect the tower and the PO to purchase all the equipment relative to that project. So again, same request.
And all of these you have listed, those are the ones that's the price it will be per one, like Regal is $19.90.
Yes, sir, it's $19.90. Now, what we may do on the back end is submit this as a single. It may come in as a single invoice from Regal Machine for 2 or 3 sections, but all 3 POs will be issued.
Another way to do it, Larry, is you can submit a single PO, but if you can assign separate account codes to line items in your PO, and that way you're just down to one PO, one invoice, as long as they'll invoice per line item, then you'll be okay.
Okay.
Do these towers allow for other entities to put devices on and things like that?
They would, and we're actually in some early communications with Smith County on whether some of these would fit in with some of their mission objectives as well. So we'll bring that back to you at another time if we actually come to an agreement on that.
Like renting tower space.
Yes, sir.
All right. Do I hear a motion on item 6.3?
I'll make the motion that we move forward with the purchase of equipment and supplies under budget project 22-IT-P2P P6 in the amount not to exceed $23,562.50.
Have a motion by Commissioner Domney. I hear a second.
Second.
A second by Commissioner Wilson. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. 6.4, discuss and take any necessary action on the budgeted project 22 IT P2P-P7, purchasing services, equipment, supplies for point-to-point project phase 7 under budgeting project in the amount not to exceed $13,000.
Okay, this one's slightly different, but same concept. What this will be is actually completing a link between what will be 2 existing towers at the time this project is completed. It will be from the current Flint Station 1 tower to the newly constructed Fleet Maintenance Tower, which will complete a ring network so that if any one antenna fails, we still stay up and functioning. So it's a complete ring at that point. So this would just be to purchase the equipment and services to install that microwave link.
All right. Hear a motion? Okay.
I'll second.
Commissioner Wilson makes a motion to approve the amount not to exceed $13,000 for the budget project 22 IT P2P P7. Have a second by Commissioner Domney. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any Any opposed? Motion carries. All right. 6.5, discuss and consider take necessary action on the budget project 22 IT P2P-P8, services for point-to-point project phase 8 under budgeted project in the amount not to exceed $32,125. Larry?
This will be similar to Phase 6. This is just completing the next phase, and I believe this is the last one on our agenda for the point-to-point project. This is a budgeted project, and all the quotes are included.
We did have one or two other phases to the point-to-point project that we didn't approve for this budget year. But this, what we're doing now, actually gets us in pretty good shape overall. The rest of what we talked about is and I'll say, further redundancy.
It does. I believe we only did not approve 2 locations, and both of those are not currently manned, so we're not in a big hurry for those.
Okay, good, thank you.
I'll entertain a motion.
Make the motion that we approve the project 22-IT-P2P-P8 in the amount not to exceed $32,125.
I have a motion by Commissioner Domney to approve this project 22 IT P2P-P8 in the amount not to exceed $32,125. Have a second by Commissioner Biggers. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. 6.6, is that right? Yes. Discuss and consider taking necessary action on the budgeted purchase of dashboard hardware out of GL code 54100. Approve the following POs totaling $3,409.02. It will go over the budgeted cost for IT equipment dashboard line item due to price increases. However, replacing this equipment will reduce the cost of line item and Google Enterprises Management and IT subscriptions by $750. Larry?
Okay, so this is just replacing some equipment that's about 5 years old at this time with some newer hardware. This will also reduce our management licenses, so we won't have as much to spend on a reoccurring basis. I do have this broken out again by site code, so that's why you see the amount of POs that you see. And we're in a little bit of a time crunch on this because we renew in November. So I'm trying to get all this equipment in and installed prior to November so we don't have to renew our Google Enterprise Management license in the total amount.
So we're gonna go over what we budgeted by $409.02 because of price increases, is that right?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
But ultimately, our net spend is going to be lower by $300.
That's correct.
About
It'll
10%,
be
right?
offset in the other budget line item.
Okay.
You're correct.
I'll make the motion that we approve the purchase of the items for $3,409.02.
Have a motion by Commissioner Domney to approve item 6.6, not to exceed the amount of $34,09.02. There a second? Second by Commissioner Biggers. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right. 6.7, discuss, consider taking any necessary action on the purchase of hardware and licensing for the budget project 22 IT SHU. Purchasing of a Dell server at no cost to exceed $16,500 and other required licenses in the amount not to exceed $10,037.73 and trusted tech team and miscellaneous hardware and supplies not to exceed $1,000 under the budget project 22 IT SHU. Total requested $27,537.73 and budgeted was $28,245.21. So that's 3% under budget. So, Larry, you want to talk about that?
Yes, sir. This specific server will be replacing our virtual server ESXi2. So this is about a 6 or 7 year old piece of hardware that needs to be replaced. And actually at the time we bought that, we were in budget constraints, so I actually bought end-of-life hardware in order to save funds. So this is a much needed upgrade. It is under budget, and I just ask that y'all go ahead and approve this so we can get it started.
Okay, I'll make the motion that we approve budget item under 6.722-IT-SHU for the amount requested, $27,537.73.
Okay. Second. Have a motion by Commissioner Domney to purchase 22 IT SHU for the total requested of $27,537.73. Second by Commissioner Wilson. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right. 6.8, discuss, consider, and take any necessary action on the purchase of hardware for budgeted project 22 IT SSU, purchasing a new storage server at the cost not to exceed $27,301 and connectivity hardware at a cost not to exceed $1,765 under the budget project 22 IT SSU. Larry?
Okay, same thing. This is a little bit over budget. We're about 4% over the anticipated budget on this project. And I'm also requesting that we do not go with the low bid on this project. So in front of you, you see a feature comparison matrix between vendor 1, 2, 3, and 4. That kind of highlights the areas where one vendor exceeds the other. We spent extensive time looking through the different options that are available to us on this hardware. We feel like vendor 1 fits our needs better. Although it's not the low bid, it is the second lowest bid. And we've just seen a little bit of increase in cost, and we're about to see another increase in cost if we don't get this approved prior to the 31st.
Are there other advantages to using your selected vendor over our other ones, or the potential of the cost savings? Is it longer life equipment?
So
Justification?
the main reason for going through vendor 1 versus vendor 2 would be the warranty that's available as far as the specifics of the warranty, as well as the hot spare kit, the cold spare kit, and the capabilities, the feature capabilities of the product. It's also a more well-known vendor than vendor 2. It really comes down to the feature capabilities and the uptime. So for example, vendor 2, it's a single box. In order to get redundancy, we'd actually have to purchase 2 of those boxes. With vendor 1, the box actually has 2 motherboards that go in. So if one motherboard fails, we can hot swap the motherboard. Vendor 2 does not offer that. So if we had a motherboard failure, we would be completely down system-wide while we waited for a motherboard to get replaced. Whereas vendor 1, if that box lost a motherboard, we could rely on the second motherboard until a shipment could be received. We could pull that out and put a new one in with 0 downtime.
Okay, so yeah, the reliability factor within itself
Is enough to justify it to me.
yeah, okay. Make the motion that we would approve the project 22 IT SSU, acknowledging that we are not selecting a low bidder, but justification for reliability does exist.
Okay. Have a motion by Commissioner Domney that we move forward on project 22 IT SSU, not necessarily taking the low bid, but the higher bid, but justification for the reason was there. And I have a second by Commissioner Biggers. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right. And I guess that brings us to closed session, is that right? Or we got one more? Okay. All right. At this time, the board will convene in closed session in accordance with Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code 551-071, 551-074, No action shall be taken while the board is in closed session. Any final action, final decision, or final vote shall be taken after the board reconvenes in open session. And deliberation concerning appointment, employment, evaluation, reassignment, duties, and responsibilities of individual ESD officers, commissioners, and employees, deliberating regarding real property, consult with attorney and receive the legal advice concerning contempt legal matter or settlement offer under Government Code 551071. At this time, at 4:25 p.m., open session is recessed and we're now in closed session. Okay. We now call the open meeting back to order at 4:50 PM. And there's no action to be taken in open session as to what was discussed in closed session. And at this time, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Motion to adjourn.
Okay. Motion to adjourn, second. We are adjourned at 4:50 PM.